Hey, what's up, guys? Man. Well, it's wet out today. It's not really necessarily raining as much as it is just wet. Look at it up there. It's wet. It's kind of rainy. Kind of like just wet. You know, I don't feel raindrops, but I do see raindrops on the ground. So it's pretty unfortunate. I was hoping that we were going to have another sunny day today. But such is life. When you work outside all alone, things tend to get a little messy. So, quick update for this morning. There's Marla. She's ready to see the engine out, and I'm ready to make that happen. And you know, she's dripping because it kind of tried to rain on us, but everything's unhooked in there. And I think what we're going to do is we'll get the shop opened up, and the bad thing is I don't want to be off of the concrete, so we'll probably, yeah, I kind of put myself in a weird position because I can't really push this truck with the forklift because, you know, we got a nice ass bumper on there. When I say that, I mean one that looks good from a distance. But we got a nice bumper on there, so we can't really push it. But it needs to go back in the shop a little ways so we can have the truck up on the concrete. I piss poor planning on my part. But we need to move it back about 5 feet, 6 feet. And then we can come in from here with the forklift and snatch that motor up out of there. And then we can push the thing back forward and maybe even 20 feet forward and get after it with the pressure washer. We're going to degrease the whole inside of the frame and everything. And you know, this truck looks haggard because it's been just used and not cleaned much. Hey, what's up, guys? Man, what a nice day it is today. Look at it. Just look at it. I think we can still utilize the shop, and I think I can do a lot of the work. If I get the radiator, if I get the engine on the mounts out here and get the radiator set in, then we can get the truck inside and I can do everything else in the comfort of the shop. But all that's speculation. Let's see about getting the shop open and get this stuff organized and see how we're going to push this truck back. We'll bring it back. All right, so there's no place to get you in here, but I got the AC compressor off. Still hooked up, still has the gas in it. Yeah, so I'm happy about it. You guys should be happy about it. That concludes unhooking this thing. Everything else is unbolted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get up in the shop for about 30 minutes. And we're going to clean up this area right here and take all these buckets and miscellaneous items and take it out to the shed, because I'm going to bring the forklift around and hook onto the truck and drag it back 10 feet and then get back in the forklift and go back around, and we'll put the jib back on and we'll rig it up and we'll see if we can't get that engine lifted up out of there. And then the very next thing we'll do after we get the engine out and set on the ground, so we'll get it covered up with a tarp. And then we'll come back, we'll get the truck pushed outside. We'll come back inside and we'll get the 12V92 out of the hole because I've traded that off. Don't have time for it, and somebody else wants it, so we'll get that. We'll get that thing ready to go. We'll get that pallet of parts right there ready to go as well, with the turbos and all of the pieces. And I think those are the turbos. If not, the turbos are over there on the shelf. But we'll get that thing all ready to go. And yeah, it'd be nice to have it out of here. We're gonna have an MXS C15 sitting in that hole for the foreseeable future. And anyways, let's get after it. We're just gonna move this press. I just test fired it this morning, filled it up with some fluid, and it works. It presses, it just doesn't release. So I got a little bit of stuff to do with it. I got to figure out what makes it tick. But for my cousin just giving it to me to use, I don't mind having to do a little work. It saves me a lot of messing around, you know what I mean? It sucks because, you know, I need a shop that's twice as big as this one. But, you know, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and trying to come up with $150,000, $200,000 to build a shop right now, it's just not in the cards. I got to move. I need some semi-trailers. Hey, if any of you guys have some van trailers and you live nearby, you want to donate them to the cause, that'd be super cool. I need 4, you know, good and dry with good door van trailers, so I can put all this shop stuff in them and get them out to the ranch. I'm going to try and get some ranch time next weekend. Get a couple good strong guys over and get after cleaning the shop. And then if I can get the shop clean and those trailers that are attached to it clean, then I can bring over some stuff and stow it, and that would be super nice. Super nice to start getting stuff out of this shop and into storage at the ranch, so that we can start working on stuff in that shop. It's gonna be weird at first, but I think it's gonna work out. The shop is actually bigger and smaller, if that makes sense. It's smaller square footage, but it's bigger. It's a bigger work area. And as long as I keep the work area and not a storage area, I think it'll be a decent shop. We got to get over some hurdles, you know, but I think for the most part, it's going to be a decent place to work on stuff. Super easy. Like I said, we're just going a few feet. Oh, you know what? We're not doing anything with the brakes on though. So let me look. I think that should give me, yeah. All right. And I think I'll leave the tool out because I'll want to set the brakes again. I put grease on the bolts, otherwise it gets a little crazy. just make a peek. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Forgot I had this oil under there. And I would have forgot about the coolant too if I wouldn't have done that yesterday. Yes, just scoot these in, grab the jib, and we're always operating on the cusp of it being too heavy, especially because we have to operate at the tips of the forks to be able to reach anything. Now, I do want a bigger forklift, but it's just not in the cards right this minute. I think we can get to it without hitting the fuel tank. And so I think we'll just come in on an angle and try and get straight above the turbo. And then we'll try and decide. We'll probably hook here. There's one in the front and two on the sides. If I remember right, that was how I usually do these. They do like a V pattern with the chain. We don't want to hit the cab. We've done that before. Okay, so that's too much of an angle. It's going to be a little hard because, you know, we've got the cab over as far as we can go without this ladder being in the way, so we're minimized our clearance. Also, the thing is forward of the tipping point, so we have to be careful and considerate of that. And one of the hard parts is going to be we have to pick it up just enough to get the back mounts off and then swing it backwards, which is going to, you know, it's going to be a rotate around, you know, turn the forklift and rotate around and then go up at the same time. And it shouldn't be super hard. This thing is heavy, but it's not as heavy as you would think. And so hopefully we can snag it right where it's at. We'll put a chain up in there and we'll hook it in a V, and hopefully we'll pick the back up a little bit before the front, and we'll get you over here so you can see me rig it up. What do you think of that? Obviously, we got to be careful. clip. I don't think it'll pick it up that way. Take the front one and I go over the top hook like this. And then go over that, then hook this to that. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? That way I'm pulling off that top hook in the front. I think I'll move the cab forward a little more. Are you going? Yeah. Move that cab forward a little bit more. So you got to be careful because it's heavy. All right, so the secret here is to make sure that the forklift doesn't tip over. We have really lightweight on the back. We have to be super careful. This is not a position you want to be in where you're anywhere near this thing and it could fall over, you know. Right now we're looking pretty good. Get this wiring harness off of it, and then we can go up a little bit more. And what we want to do is tilt backwards more than lift up, because when you tilt backwards, it moves the weight backwards. Now, we all learned a valuable lesson when I dropped that Ford motor. Oops. Remember when? Now we've moved the tilt back quite a bit, and we still are pretty light. I can see a little weight on the wheels, but we're still pretty light. So we're gonna go slow, you know, we're gonna go slow. We're gonna keep going slow. We've got the wiring harness stuck on the starter. Okay, there we go. We'll go up, we'll lean back a little bit more until we can clear the oil pan, and then we'll start thinking about how we're going to get the engine out of the truck. We got room on the top. Much nicer. Okay, here we go, nice and easy. All right, she's out. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna find a spot for it. Nice, we'll find a spot for it. I can't believe I bent this as bad as I did, but you know, you're looking at 100 different things, and that was just one that I wasn't paying attention to. But yeah, we're going to continue. Oh, look, there's a piece of wood in there. That's kind of comical all at the same time. We're going to continue on now. We'll find a place, we'll put this, we'll get it tarped up. Then we'll move this thing back forward, and we'll get the cab back over this side. We'll move this thing back forward, and we'll pressure wash. And I need to get the radiator out, but I broke my jib boom, and I don't think I can reach it without it. So I'll have to get the jib boom into the shop, cut it off, weld a new bar on. They tried to carry something that was way heavier than it should be, and then we'll snatch the radiator out of there. We'll finish pressure washing. This frame is in super good shape. All we got to do is the basics. I'd say that this probably had a mount in it at one point in time, but that's been long gone. So that's interesting. But yeah. But anyways, I'm super excited to have it out. Closer, closer, closer. It should fall right over, won't it? I don't think it can go anywhere. managed to pull it off. Engine's out, all pressure washed and ready. I'll remake my jib boom on Tuesday. We'll get the radiator out, touch up what little bit under the radiator needs to be washed, and then we'll get the 14 liter set down in there on the front mounts, measure up the rear mounts, pop some holes in there, get the mounts welded up, get that engine setting on the mounts, get the new radiator in before the weekend, and then put that truck in the shop. And hopefully it works out good, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you on the next one.